Well, hi there, and welcome along to What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes Grand National Special. Totally psyched. You psyched?
Yeah, can't wait.
Good stuff. You could act. Right, we are panel this week. Johnny Ward joins me. Declan Marin is in from Ladbrokes for the first time, so nice debut for you.
Yeah, very
easy start.
Looking forward to it.
And David Jennings, of course, as always. Right, we're going to pick the Grand National winner. Down online, how many times have you tipped or backed the winner national, Johnny? Never. Declan?
Once.
0.
I have one as well. Well, that was comply or die. I mean, beyond 10 years ago, it probably doesn't count anymore. Right, so what, in this world where we're going to do something for the first time ever, well, what do you look for when you're going to lose your Grand National virginity?
In a Grand National winner? Is this, we don't reveal our actual fancies here?
Not just
I don't know, like, you
That's
obviously...
how we work television. Go on.
You obviously want a horse that, like, this is the be-all and end-all. This is the target for potentially 2 years, which I think my fancy it has been. You want a horse that you think will adapt to the fences if it hasn't ran there before. You want a horse that will stay. You used to want a big strap and stay and chaser, but then when Tiger Roll, a little nimble thing goes and wins it, all those theories kind of go out the window. So you need a lot of luck. And yeah, I haven't found the theory yet.
Okay, well that was well wrapped up. What about you, Declan? What do you look for?
You mentioned luck. I watched Many Clouds. That's the only winner I've ever had. And I watched that run back, and he just gets unbelievable looking and running.
Tears.
Yeah, definitely. Leighton Aspel, I think, did brilliantly to sort of just find all the pockets where there was no trouble around all there.
Yeah.
And maybe it was massively lucky as well, but excellent jockey would go a long way, I'd say.
Yeah, no, what about you, Johnny? In your quest for first Grand National winner?
Yeah, it'd be nice to back the winner. I generally a horse who you think will basically stay out of trouble, but that's asking a lot. And if you're prominent in a really hard run race, it can kind of batter you as well. Tiger Roll last year, everything went like clockwork, apart from at Beecher's the first time when he was very nearly brought down. And that's why I think he's a ludicrous price this year, because there's so much that can go wrong. But I mean, I backed Hedge Hunter the year before he won the race, so that's basically as close as I've come.
Yeah, well that's fair enough. He did turn out to be a Grand National.
I also backed the Drew's nephew when he was 5 lengths clear, 6 fences from home and fell. So that's a close second.
It is still a long way home. Right, we're going to give you a couple of stabs at the Grand National. Okay, so you can have a 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
It's Declan's first time, so we'll let him start. And he's the only person who's actually tipped the winner as well in the panel.
Right, I'll start off with, I think, looking at the prices for me, the one that stood out was Jury Duty. I can, like a lot of them, pick holes in it, but I think more so with the place chance. He's got a really, really good chance. He's had plenty of experience.
How many places did Ladbrokes go?
6 places in our Republic of Ireland retail shops. So yeah, worth getting on with that in mind. There's a few I think massively look for a place. Jury Duty would be the main one in my mind, particularly with the Galway plate in mind. When he was a novice, I think he can come on from that. Another one I'll just put in there. Well, Vintage Clouds, another very, very obvious one. I don't think there's sort of any unanswered questions about Vintage Clouds, barring maybe whether he likes the track. I think apart from that, he's looks nailed on for something like this. And a bit of a toss-up between the last few. Again, just with the place in mind, I thought Folsom Blue. I have a love-hate relationship with the horse, but I do think with 6 places in mind, he'll just sort of bound into 6 at the end.
Okay, so you're a proper grade A each-way thief.
Yeah, definitely.
Go on, Johnny. Couple of stabs.
I think Tiger Roll can run well. I couldn't back him at his price. If things go right, he does look a better horse this year. He probably deserves to be favoured. I think he's ludicrously short though for considering.
What kind of price would you if you were thinking I want to back Tiger Roll? What kind of price would you want?
8 or 10 to 1, something like that.
Okay.
But I'm obviously wrong because people have been backing him a lot shorter. Annabelle Fly is my idea of the winner. He's been a little bit unlucky.
He took a long way around last year.
He did, and again didn't have the nicest trip because he was hampered early on. He was so good in the Gold Cup this year. I thought, if you look back in the race, when you look at the way he finished, you think, oh, good, should he have won? Should Geraghty have done this or that? But like he was perfectly poised at the third last, and then the winner just had a bit more toe, a bit like Ken Boy yesterday.
You were down with Tony Martin during the week. What's the vibe like?
I was, he's very like Tony, you know, he nods and he winks and he makes grunts at you and all this kind of stuff. But the impression I got was that he's a better horse this year than he was 12 months ago. And for, you know, a real character of the game, somebody who has kept going, you know, the recession hit him hard with owners and stuff, and it would be a great story and there would be some party if Annabelle Fly did win, and he's got a cracking chance. Like.
Right, so you're with Annabelle Fly and you're going to back anything else up with that?
I think despite top weight, he is the class horse in the race, and I include Tiger Roll in that, even though he has to give him, £5. But Barry Geraghty, Davy Russell and Ruby Walsh are all either 40 or they turn 40 this year. The chances are this is one of their this is one of them having his last ride in the race, I would say. Like, I think retirement will beckon for at least one of them in the next year.
Do you think if Rasmussen did win, Ruby would retire almost on the spot? Do you think?
I actually thought he would retire. I don't think he'd retire. I thought he'd retire at the end of the season, for much of this season. And now I'm not so sure, but I think it would be a good time to go out. You know, he's 40 this year, and you can already see that he didn't ride in every race at Cheltenham, so he is nearing the end. But in any event, I think Gamble Fly is a great chance. I also think Rathvinden has a great chance for Ruby. He's 11 years of age. It's very hard to believe. Doesn't seem he's been around that long. Yeah. So I give him a good chance. Rock the Casbah, I know DJ's sweet on him. I'm just not sure he'll fully stay the trip. Pleasant Company's kind of coming in on the back of pretty moderate run, the same as last year. He's interesting. What I'll give for my third selection in the race, I might as well go for one at a huge price, which I have here somewhere. That is Mala Beach. Just if things can click into place, he's a massive mark again.
Jamie Codd rides.
Jamie Codd riding him obviously went very close
to hunt him round as well.
He on his day, Mala Beach has the class to get involved in this.
Absolutely right, Jeno. Come on.
Okay, to break my duck, at 33 years of age, it is Manila Rocco.
Manila Rocco,
who has more problems than Brexit, but he is. I just ever since he beat Native River in the 4-miler, finished second in the Gold Cup. I've always thought that someday they're just going to train him just for the national, nothing else, forget about the rest. And everybody, when I mention Manila Rocco there, people will be watching this and they'll go, oh, holy God, Manila Rocco, sure, he's finished. Like, how could you tip him? When you actually go through his form, he's only ran 6 times in 2 years. One of them was over hurdles. One of them, it looked like he was only out for a little pop in the Ultima. And when he was pulled up early, Richie McLaren looked after him. He actually hasn't been as disappointing as people think.
And he's not as old as you would think either.
No, he's only a 9-year-old. And
did you not tip him at Cheltenham though? Did you not?
No, I didn't. No. I think with Manila Rocco, I think there's a couple of things. I actually fancied him in the race last year, and because it was heavy ground, he was taken out. He would have been off a mark of I think 162 last year. He's off 155 this year. And I just think the drying ground is very windy in Aintree today. I think the drying ground will help him. Richie McLaren, who went so close in Sunny Hill Boy, be a great story if he won. Reports suggest he schooled brilliantly over the Aintree style fence in Lambourne. So that definitely will. He ticks a lot of boxes. Okay, and I know you'll look at form figures and go 5-9p.
I actually think there is a point to your story.
But don't forget, Don't Push It was pulled up on his last start before he won the Grand National. So I think Manila Rocco is a class horse. He'll stay all day. He jumps well, and I think at 40-1, I think Manila Rocco's got a great chance.
The bizarre thing about that, there's a bit of a positive for that, in that Annabelle Fly had a hard race at Cheltenham 3 weeks ago. The Gold Cup was a seriously hard race. He didn't.
Yeah, that is obvious positive there.
Manila Rocco,
Manila Rocco, although your first choice is 40-1, so you don't need any big
Yeah, my second choice is 66-1. It is Monbeg Notorious, who wears that bonus territory blue cap for Gigginstown. Won the race with Tiger O, or won the race with.
It's like the Godolphin red cap.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, with Rule the World won the race in a blue cap. David Mullins wore it, and I spoke to Eddie O'Leary the other day, and he said, "Keep an eye out for the blue cap. That'll be one that we might fancy." And just think the way the ground has gone, there's cutting the ground now. TS winner on bottomless ground. I don't think he's badly handicapped. I could see him running well. And my final selection, as Johnny said, is Rock the Casbah, who is just kind of solid. I just think he'll finish somewhere between 3rd and 8th. I'm just not sure if he's
with
good
the
enough.
Extra places, you think you would fancy yourself to collect.
I think he'll get around. I think he stays. I think he's a nice horse.
Short of one of the Lady Riders win, this would be the best one, because Richard Johnson is 41. One of the most popular people in racing, has never won the race.
Then I kind of come back to my initial fancy Manila Rocco, and I say to myself, could any of these horses, have finished second in the Gold Cup, like Annabelle Fly? Both of them were second, and he's running off a mark of 155. And I think over this trip he's a grade 1 chaser, and he's run off a mark of 155. So that's my theory.
Okay, that's fair enough. Right, we're going to go along and go quick fire, 2 selections, 2 shots at the Gold Cup. I have a major arguments, just 2 selections. Johnny, start with you. 2 horses for the Grand National, rather. 2 horses.
Annabelle Fly and Rathvinden.
Annabelle Fly and Rathvinden. Declan.
Jury Duty and Vintage Clouds.
Manila Rocco and Monbeg Notorious.
Good stuff. And I'm going with Pleasant Company and Lakeview Lab. So there are quick fire selections for the Aintree Grand National. Well, let's move on to the rest of the Saturday action. Any thoughts on the Mersey Novices hurdle at 2 o'clock there? Do you have some prices for us?
Yeah, 11-4 now brewing up a storm. Angel's Breath, if he still runs, 7-2. One for Rosie, 9-2. 15-2 Chosen Mate, and 9-1 are bigger the rest.
Thoughts on this?
Yeah, I don't get the Angel's Breath thing. I just really don't. Now, Paul Keeley, my colleague over in London, he thinks this will win and he thinks he should be favoured. I don't get it. I think he won
So
a
disappointing.
poor grade 2 at Ascot that has worked out bad. Danny Kerwin was second. I thought he was disappointing in Kempton. I thought he was disappointing again at Cheltenham. I think Brewing Up a Storm is absolutely rock solid. I thought that was a cracking run in the Ballymore. Again, we saw Itchy Feet today, didn't come back out of Cheltenham as well as he should have done. But Brewing Up a Storm, if Cheltenham hasn't taken a stole, I think he'll win.
Yeah, fair enough. Johnny, anything for you in this? You with the top two, or are you looking for something down a little further?
It's amazing when you look at it that Chosen Mate is here. He cost very, very little after winning a point-to-point in relative terms, and now he's like 6-7 to 1.
But particularly relative terms, given what happened to sales on Thursday night.
Yeah. And he's just been so consistent and progressive. I kind of agree with Geno, but Angel's Breath, he has to be better than what he showed at Cheltenham. I mean, unless Nicky is so far wrong, I was so disappointed with Cheltenham. Willing to give him another chance, no better race for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, let's move on to the McGull Novices Chase then at 3 o'clock.
Horrific stuff.
It's not great, is it?
This is genuinely the worst grade 1 that's ever been run.
Yeah.
I mean
well,
that now.
us and them is, pretty much favoured, is he?
He is, which is.
And what was he?
I agree with
25 for
lads.
the Arkle,
2 to 1
33
favourite.
for the Arkle.
I actually think Clondalk Castle will win because he was fourth in the Arkle, but he was only. Like us and them passed him with 100 yards to go. He went after Duke to Geneva at the time that Duke to Geneva made his move, and I just thought it was he paid the price in the closing yards. Like Lawler looked like he's just fallen out of love with the game. To be honest with you, he hated every second of it. Or Newa, I think the ground is too soft. Or Knocknanoose is a soft finisher. Destrier is only rated 142, and I don't think he's good enough. And Cad Delin running a grade 1. I don't know, Clondalk Castle for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Anything for you in this, Johnny? Was another no
Us
bet
and
race?
them very tentatively, just because he's probably a little bit unheralded because he's finished second and well beaten second so many times, but this is not a good grade 1 at all.
Okie doke.
I do strongly fancy one in the 145.
Okay, go for it.
And it's a huge price.
Yeah.
And it won't go off the price it is now. So I'd advise you to back it now. It is called Tommy Rapper. It's right down the bottom. It's number 18. You're going to have to keep scrolling down. I'd say it could be 25 to 1 when betting comes out in this race. Loves this ground. Soft ground, 3 miles.
Trained by?
Dan Skelton, ridden by Bridget Andrews. Rated 136. It's got some really good novice form. Its form with cutting the ground is rock solid. Lovely, lovely eye-catching run in the Pertemps qualifier. Flat track, left-handed, 3 miles, soft ground. Get on.
Boxes ticked. Right, let's move on to the action at Leopardstown.
I should just mention as well,
go on.
in the staying race, which is obviously a hell of a race, Apple's Jade trying to...
Can you see her bounce back?
Yes.
You can, but I just couldn't have her because she was so lightless at Cheltenham. It's the same problem here. She's going left-handed. And William Henry, who broke Geno's heart, of course, by beating Wicklow Brave. He's never tried this trip before, but I can't see how it's not going to suit. He's 12-14 to 1
Yeah,
with a
he's
really
huge
dodgy
price, yeah.
favourite. I think he's an excellent trade chance.
It's really a key thing with Apple's Jade. 2 races gone so far on Friday at Aintree. 2 winners for Gordon Elliott. The stable is
She
firing.
absolutely bolted up at Aintree back in the day as well as a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
I think she's.
So
way
you're
better
with, you're against, casting vote, Declan?
I'd probably just side with.
You
Slightly
with
cautionary.
Apple's Jade.
Mm.
I'm
And
actually with you, Jeremy. I think that the horse Nicky Henderson's
2-all. We win on away goals.
2-all, we win away goals. We win on count back because I was 1 last time out. Right, let's move on to the action at Leopardstown, then Guineas Trials Day. And so most crucially here, the 2000 Guineas, we actually get to see a genuine classic contender in the shape of Mad Moon. I assume he's going to be odds on. Declan, do you have prices for that
Well,
yet?
he's just the other side of odds against at the moment. If you can still get it by the time this is out, 5 to 4 is what we were given. 9 to 4, but never no more. 8 to 1 San Andreas, and then 10 to 1 the Irish Rover. 12s are bigger the rest.
Well, Mad Moon.
Love him, yeah, I love him. Mad about him.
Have you tipped him up in all sorts of anti-post columns and the like?
Not really. I've mentioned him a good few times. Just a lovely story, lovely horse. Everything about him screams like classic contender. You just love to see him going out. The trip is obviously a little bit of a worry. When he won an Irish Champions weekend, it was a mile. He's down to 7 now. So it is a little cause for concern, but the vibes seem to be very strong from the Curragh, and I'd say it'd be very hard to beat.
Your thoughts, Mad Moon, yes or no?
Yeah, same as Geno, like 86 years of age, Cameron Prendergast this year, still has his few pints every night and gets up in the morning, loves his fishing.
Good golfer.
What a man,
Good
loves his
golfer,
golf. But he is given £3 to Never No More, who was a revelation really at Naas. And Aidan's had 1 placed horse from his last 18 runners, but this horse was fresh enough. A lot of them horses would be Galileos that would need a bit of time or whatever. This horse looks like he could make into a very good 3-year-old.
Would you back him against Mad Moon, or are you just going to think, or maybe even in each way,
I
or
would,
just oppose him?
Could I flag one for the forecast for you?
Yeah,
Just
go
could
for
be
it.
king, 4th in a Group 3 at Leopardstown when last thing he switched to John Ox, since big fan of John Ox as well. I think he could be probably the best of the rest in here for 1-2.
Best of the rest. Okay, the fillies contest at
What a
2:45.
race.
That trial is pretty deep.
Yeah, it's what a race. Like Iridessa won the Phillies Mile. You got Chicas Amigas, who's been bought by Qatar. Aiden has got a whole host in there. Lady K is very interesting for Sheila Lavery and Robbie Colgan. Rated 110. Like she travels so strongly in her races. She's got to have a big
One
chance.
little nugget about Lady Kaya, by the way. Secret Wizard, who won at Dundalk the other week, not sure if you saw it, but on the immediate interview before, and she said this was Lady Kaya's workmate, and she was working all over him, and he went and won. So
Okay,
there
nice.
you go, little nugget for you.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really interesting. She could win this. The one of Aiden's I'd be most interested in for the season ahead in this race will be Secret Thoughts, who Wayne Lorden rides. Like, you've no idea which is the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. Going forward, I'm interested in Secret Thoughts.
Okay, Johnny, who do you think wins this, and who do you think will be the best of these in 8 months?
I don't know what will win this, but I'm not lost faith in Zagatova, who I thought was a little bit disappointing as a 2-year-old.
Big fan of her.
Probably just needed time. It's a complete no-bet race. I mean, you can't figure Aiden's out from one for the other, not to mind the other horse in the race, but Zagatova should have a good year. I think she has more to offer.
Good stuff. Let's
Fair
move.
price for the 1,000 guineas as well. Around
What kind of
33
price is she?
Around 33 to 1, I think, at the moment,
Yeah.
if you want to get involved.
Yeah, she was very impressive last year. Right, bets around the cards elsewhere on Saturday, if you have any.
Yeah, I just think in the Ballysacks, the 350 at Leopardstown, like Aiden is 3 in the race. We know they're all going to come on for the run. Dermot Weller's got Tankerville, who won a Gorham Park maiden. It's a big step up. And I just think the way Jim Bulgers have started the year, Guaranteed might be a step forward ahead of the other 3-year-olds in this race. Won the Airfield Stakes at Leopardstown in its final start at 2. Just battle hardened, give him weight away. But I just think while he won't end up being the best, I think Guaranteed could win this.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Johnny, elsewhere on Saturday?
Air of Excitement in Leopardstown, the final race, running for the Rugby and Racing Syndicate. Drawn 15, but ran a lovely race for Joseph, first time having come from England at Dundalk. Shane Crossroad, Wayne Lorden rides. If this horse can get away with the draw, I think he's well handicapped.
That's in the 5-5, the close on the Leopardstown card. Okay, well, let's get our best bets for the weekend then over the course of the Grand National weekend. Johnny Ward, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Air of Excitement in the last at Leopardstown. I think this horse a huge chance, second time for Joseph O'Brien. I really like taking on Applejade in the race, the 3-mile race with William Henry. And Annabelle Fly, why not?
Annabelle Fly. What an each way
Third
treble
selection
that'll
in the Grand
be.
National.
Go on, Declan, your 3 best bets for the weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Lady Kaya, mentioned earlier. I think Could Be King is going to be a big one. And I do like Angel's Breath chances, you know.
Good stuff. Jenna?
Tommy Rapper, 145 Aintree. Brewing Up a Storm, 225 Aintree. And because the day that's in it, Manila Rocco, 515 Aintree.
Okie doke. And my best bet is Pleasant Company in the National to go one better. Okay.
Good stuff.
Do you want to do
You should
Sunday
do
or do you want to bother?
You could do.
How much time